Hey guys, welcome to the Lazy Lemon Creations podcast. My name is Lindsay. You can find me on Instagram as Lazy Lemon Creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as Lazy Lemon. This is my crafty podcast all about the knitting and crochet, cross stitch things that I get into, and I'll have a little bit of all three today. We can jump right in. I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our two kids. My husband is at work and my two kids are off of school today, so this was not well thought out on my behalf. So we'll see how this goes, considering this is the 6th time I've had to restart due to something right in the first 2 minutes. So here we go. All right, so first off, let's jump into some FOs. So what I have here is February's Freckled Whimsy socks. They do not match. They're off by one stripe. Hold on, I've got them both here if I can get them to show up on screen. There we go. I can back it up a little bit. But yeah, this is the Freckled Whimsy February. The colorway name is Gingerbread Kisses and Christmas Wishes. And I love them so much. So for my socks, I do a 20 row 2x2 ribbed cuff. I do a 30 row leg, standard slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, my whole foot and a toe. I do the contrast mini for the heel, toe, and cuff on nearly all of my socks, but especially a sock set that I get. And I love Freckled Whimsy sock set. She does a 25 gram mini with 100 gram main skein, so it's wonderful. And you have plenty of yarn to do an entire pair of socks, and then some, especially if you're like me and you like a short leg. I can make 2 pairs, 4 total socks out of a whole 100 grams. It's absolutely great. But for those socks, I had to push to finish those in the month of February. I started them on the 9th and I didn't finish them until the 28th, and that's 100% on me. Those were 60 grams for those socks, and they are the only thing I actually finished in February. Now, I did work on a lot of things in February, but I didn't finish anything except the socks. February was a very busy month for us, a very emotional month for us. March is going to be the same, but speaking of, today is March 11th, I believe. I think so. It's 3/11. So yeah, we are just almost 2 weeks into this month, and I wanted to sit down and get this podcast out. So that's why we're here. But that is my only FO, is that pair of socks. They, like I said, they were 60 grams, and for the month of February, that was the only thing out I had for the grams in. We're not gonna talk about it because I got 2 blanket orders, and then I went and purchased the yarn, and then I got a blanket order canceled. So now I have more yarn than I should, that I will love to make a blanket with at some point, but yeah. Now I just have the yarn sitting here. It's great. But let's jump into some whips, and there are a lot of them. Okay. The first whip that I have the least amount of progress on is this blanket. If y'all remember, it is a granny square blanket. It's just the granny stitch. Let's see if I can get a good close up into that. It is using black yarn, and the label says that it is a green yarn, but from my episode 45 podcast, I believe, I think I discovered it's aqua. So it's more of an aqua color green to this blanket. And the last time I was working on it, here we go. Yep. I've literally only done like a row and a half. I'm almost done 2 complete rows. But the last time I was on it, I was on this black row. So I've added this entire green aqua row and then the second one. So I am making some progress on it. Boop, boop. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this progress keeper. I kept saying, I don't remember where I was. I don't remember where I was. Now that I have found my progress keepers, which I knew where they were, I just didn't want to dig for them. but I have a whole ring of Progress Keepers here, and it's the only Progress Keepers I use. Correction, it is the only Progress Keepers I buy. I do use other Progress Keepers that have been gifted to me, but I have not purchased them myself. These are the only ones that I have purchased, but I do have a couple, especially those that are shaped like lemons, that people have gifted to me that I do use, but these are the ones that I buy. If you do not know what this is, it is a whole key ring of stitch markers, Progress Keepers from, it's not going to show up at all. It's going to show you the sparkle though. Okay, but you will not be able to read that. But this is Twin Mountain Handcrafts. They are actually local to me. They're about 40 minutes away. And I have so many of them. Like, I mean, that's the key ring with all of them compiled on there. And there's room for more. I can still hold the key ring, so there's room for more on here. But I have everything from owls to hearts, snowmen, dragons, coffee cups, Santa Claus, books, Christmas trees, another set of dragons, ghosts and spiders from Halloween. God bless you. That was my son. But I have so many of these. I dug them out. I found them. They're mine. So let's update that Progress Keeper to right here, where we are going to then, well, now you can't see it against the green, can you? That's just a little heart. Maybe if I push it down to the black, you can see it against the black. Yeah, see, there it is. But yes, I love these stitch markers. They're absolutely wonderful. But for this blanket, like I said, I am using the Anti-Pill Mainstays yarn from Walmart, and I am crocheting using a size H 5mm, which is the number 8, I think. But I just say 5mm crochet hook. This one is a Clover Amour hook that I've been testing out. I like it. There's nothing wrong with it. I like it a lot. I also really enjoy my Susan Bates hooks, and I enjoy my Furls crochet hooks. So I am not a hook snob by any means. I just like them. All right, the next thing that I have as a whip that has had more progress is this other granny stitch blanket that I have been working on. I'm down here at the end. I just turned my corner, so I'm down there at the end. I don't know where my progress, oh, there it is. I was gonna say, I don't know where the Progress Keeper is on this one, but yes, I do. It is right there. It is orange, but it is also just a heart. Stop focusing on me, focus on the orange heart. There we go. See, there it is. But that's where I was the last time that I showed this blanket, so I have made quite a bit more progress on this blanket than I did the previous blanket. But this one is for a gift for a birthday about the first week of April, and so that's why I've been working on this one a little bit more, because it actually has a due date, and the other one isn't a gift. It is just something I've been working on. And yeah, they just get thrown back there because that's my craft pile and that's where I grab it from. And yeah. All right, let's see here. The next thing I've been working on, that was my 2 crochet items. So that was the crochet for the episode. Let's get into the knitting for the episode. This project is living in my bag from Happy Little Yarn. It is my orange knitted fabric, drawstring. I love it. I love orange. It is my favorite color, and I like this like safety cone orange. That's top tier for me. Do I buy shirts from Walmart that are meant for men who work construction so that people can see them? Yes. Do I love them and they are my relaxing around the house shirts all the time? Yes as well. So, but this is the blue Musselburgh hat that I have been working on here. Sorry, there was something in my eye. Last time I showed it, I was right there, right before I started the decreases. As you guys can see, I've got my stitch markers placed around to indicate where I am to decrease on this hat. And then once I finish the decreases of the crown, I am then going to go back and pick up this end, knit it all the way to the end, and do decreases again, because I don't like doing increases. Decreases don't bother me. Increases bug the crap out of me. So I would rather do 2 sets of decreases than I would to do an increase and a decrease. But that's what I have been using as car knitting, outside knitting with the kids, as the weather is getting so much nicer here. In Virginia, it's been like mid to low 70s. Today was like 72. It's been beautiful, perfect. We've been doing bubbles and chalk and playing outside. We do still have to keep a lot of protection on my son with his leukemia, because he can't have too much sun exposure. It can cause sunburns that are more severe for him than they would be for any other normal kid. So we do have to be very cautious outside, but we are taking it with a grain of salt and enjoying as much time as we can when we can. But yeah, this has just been my project that just sits here, and when I know that I have some time that I don't need to think about something, this is what I pull out, which I'm going to be honest, all of my projects, my knitting, my crochet, all of that are projects I don't have to think about. I don't like effort. I'm lazy. I don't like thought process. So my brain is already filled with enough. I want something simple when it comes to my crafting. All right. Then the last knitting I did not mention. Hold on. Whoop, whoop. Back up. This hat is on a ChiaoGoo red lace size 2, which is a 2.75 needle. This yarn is the like Sweet Snuggles Baby Delight. I don't have any near me that I can show you the label, but I think I have a picture of it. If I do, I'll pop it in here. But it is a little bit thicker than fingering weight, but I don't know. I like knitting it on a smaller set of needles, so the fabric's a little bit more dense and a little thicker, especially since this hat is for my son. And so in the wintertime, when he needs extra protection because of the loss of hair, he's got a really nice, durable, thick hat on his head. So that is what that hat is and will be. All right, now on to my socks. It is March, and I received my Freckled Whimsy March colorway. It is the, I've got the label in here. Haha. There is her logo. Maybe. Possibly. There it is. I get her Serendipity base, which is the 75-25. It also includes the 25 gram mini. This is the Christmassy Yarny Club Year 2. This is the March colorway. The colorway name is Santa Paws, and it has been posted online on her Instagram already so that people can see what it looks like. So I have no issues showing you the colors or anything like that. But this is the sock that I'm working on. There we go. And I am just a few rows into that heel flap and gusset right there. But this is a very dark, I can see why she named it Santa Paws, with the browns and the blues and the creams in it. Like, in comparison to the gingerbread colorway, it's definitely on the moodier side. But still in the same color family, which I really like. This red Merlot wine color that is the contrast heels, toes, and cuffs is just absolutely gorgeous. I can't get over that. That is absolutely beautiful. But I am on the heel flap and gusset for this pair of socks. I'm knitting them magic loop with a 32-inch cable, ChiaoGoo red lace 1.5, which is 2.5 millimeter needle. And I have that yarn all caked up here. I love it so much. I don't know that it's going to focus. But yeah, this is beautiful. And I can't wait to get the pair of socks done with it. It is currently living. I'm getting all my strings crossed and can't figure it out. But it is living in my Christmassy Mountain State Stitches bag. That is Christmassy but not in your face, with the flowers. I do not know what those flowers are called. I don't believe they're poinsettias, but I really don't know. I don't know flowers. I'm not a botanist by any means. But this is my Mountain State Stitches bag. This is what the Freckled Whimsy socks always live in. So this bag always means Freckled Whimsy Christmas sock. that I've been working on. I started those. When did I start those? I started those on the 7th. So I started those last Saturday. And yeah, I've just been taking my time with them because there's no need to rush and get it going. And that's what I've enjoyed working on. When did I start the other projects? That's a good question. I don't have that information. Sorry. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So then let's then talk about the cross stitch project I'm working on. I know. So, sorry for the crinkling. I apologize, not in advance, but right now. All right, this is going to be really hard to see how much progress has been made on the front, so I will show you the back. But let me get this out. There we go. See? Isn't it beautiful? Can't you immediately tell what the image is? It's absolutely great, right? So easy to read and discern. No, so what it's, one second. There we go. So what the picture is actually going to be, which that's also not a very good image of it at all, and I don't think it's going to focus, but it's a beach scene. It's really hard to tell. I might be able to insert a photo of it because I did get this kit online, but because it is a printed cross stitch, it's not just a blank canvas. So what you do is once you're finished with this, you soak it in water, and the print for the grid and the color scheme and everything like that disappears. And then all that's left is your stitches. So, gonna be hard to tell, but follow me here. I've started up here. I've done all of this over to about here. I'll hold that up so you can see. There you go. You can kind of see some of those stitches there. But yeah, that section 22 is the section that I'm working in now. But then I've also gone down this side and worked out a little bit. All the way down through here. And I've stopped. I've done this little section because it was a color that I had, but I need to go back in and then get down to here and work on it as well. And I keep going back and forth on how I want to do it, on whether or not I want to pick a color, stick with it, and jump around. Do I want to do it, because you can see up here at the top, it is a gridded fabric. So like this 10 by 10 block is done, and then the next one is done. And like, do I just want to go all the way across and then go into the 20 row and then go all the way across? Do I want to do it on the shorter side and do this? So I've done a little bit of both without committing to either method, because that's how my ADHD brain works. But let me show you the back so that you can see the work that's actually been done on this. So we've got all of those stitches there. This is as it gets into the more complicated corner down here. That's where my needle is. And then of course the sky, and you can see right there is where I stopped. And yeah, it's going to finish out like right there. And so it is not tremendous, but it is definite progress. And there are a couple of speckles of things throughout there just so that I could finish the thread and not throw it away. This is what I have been working on at night and on Sundays. This is my Stitching Sunday project that I've just been working on when we're all just sitting around the house trying to relax. But yeah, I have been enjoying this cross stitch. It gives my hands a new way to hold things, because I hold my knitting needles different than I hold my crochet hook, different than I hold a sewing needle for this. So it's just a different way that I can change up my crafting ability and keep my hands from cramping. Because if I do a little bit of crochet, a little bit of knitting, and a little bit of cross stitch in a day, my hands don't hurt. And so the mobility, is that the word? I don't know, agility, flexibility, the wiggliness of my fingers is what I'm trying to keep agile and not get stiff. So yes, I don't have a start date for that either. I have just been working on it as I want to. And I do have another one that is a castle that I should be working on as well, but that one I've jumped around way too much and it gives me a headache to even think about where to start. So I'm not working on that right now. But yeah, that is all that I have for crafting. So for life, let's see where to begin. It's crazy. So Alara got the flu last week. She got it on Thursday, and we took her to the doctor on Friday to get some Tamiflu. She was feeling so much better on Saturday once we got everything into her. And then on Sunday, she woke up with some post-flu complications known as viral myositis, which basically just means that her legs were having a difficult time in general. Like, she just was having a hard time walking, standing on her tiptoes if she was standing at all, but she was crying, saying that it felt like pins and needles in her legs. So we took her to the emergency room and they admitted her for the night. She is perfectly fine. Let me preface this. She's perfectly fine in that she's doing so much better. She needed a flush of IV fluids, a high concentration of IV fluids, with a stronger potassium level and everything in it so that it could work a little faster than what an oral medicine or something would have done. So after just a night in the hospital, she got to come home Monday morning, and then she gets to stay at home with me until tomorrow. We do repeat labs with our pediatrician, and then as long as everything comes back normal, she'll go back to school on Friday. So it has been nice to have a couple of days with her at home. Then yesterday, on Tuesday, with Emrys, he had a normal follow-up visit in Roanoke for his clinic. So we had to go and spend all day there, get our visit done, and we come home. And so then today, he got to go to school. Ellie didn't. He didn't like that. But it's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's siblings and what they do. They don't like it when the other person has to do something that they don't. So that's been life. And then, yeah, for reading and watching, I am reading Heir of Fire right now in the Throne of Glass series. And that is the 4th book. So I am not very far into it. I think like 130 pages into it. But I am enjoying it. And then I have to finish the entire Throne of Glass series. And then also read the Crescent City series. And then reread the ACOTAR series. Because Sarah J. Maas announced that there is going to be 2 more ACOTAR books within the year. So I am very excited for that. And I am jumping back into this series. Well, I've read ACOTAR before, but I am jumping into Throne of Glass and Crescent City with a little bit more pep in my step, knowing that new books come out. So I have been enjoying that a lot. There are reading guides and everything out that if you've never read the series before, but you want to in time for these books to come out, absolutely you can do that. Book Huddle has a great schedule breakdown to where essentially you only need to read about 40 pages, 43 pages, I think is what it averages out to a day. And you will be caught up in time to start the series. Correction. That was, I believe, last week was 43 pages a day. Now it is probably different because it's been an entire week. So if you start now, it's different. But there's a whole breakdown of how to read the books. So, but yeah, other than that, that's it. I've not been watching much of anything. I've been doing my reading. I've been watching some podcasts. Lisa of 72 Stitches, Kayla of The Crazy Sock Lady, Amber of Ambi Marie Knits, Needles at the Ready with Kevin and Ray, and Sarah of Love Sock Wool. I've been watching podcasts. Kelsey of Passionate Kelsey. But other than that, I've not been watching actual TV. Like I said, I've been more focused on reading and spending my free time doing that. And I've enjoyed it. So I think that's it. I think I'm going to wrap up the episode. Like and subscribe. And I will hopefully see you guys sometime soon. Hopefully next week. Bye.